The 2026 regulations will introduce the first big engine change since the turbo hybrid started in 2014, and they will also affect the aerodynamics, the chassis, and the fuel of the cars. Some teams, like Mercedes and Ferrari, have already revealed some details about their engine development, while others, like Red Bull, have expressed their concerns about the new rules. So, will the 2026 regulations end Red Bull's dominance and give a chance to Mercedes and Ferrari to reclaim their glory? Or will Red Bull be able to adapt and overcome the challenges? And what are the main changes that will affect the 2026 cars? The 2026 regulations are eagerly awaited by many fans of the sport, as they will introduce the first major engine change since the turbo hybrid ERA began in 2014. The engines will undergo several modifications, and some information has already been leaked by Mercedes and Ferrari. This raises the question: will Red Bull lose their dominance, and what will be their biggest challenge in the new era? The regulations will not focus only on the aerodynamics of the car, but also on the power of the engine. This could give an advantage to Mercedes and Ferrari, who have been known for their strong engines. Mercedes dominated the sport from 2014 to 2021, only losing one driver's title in a controversial way. Ferrari, on the other hand, have not won a championship since 2007. Could the 2026 regulations be their chance to reclaim their glory? To answer that, we need to examine the main changes that will affect the 2026 cars. The most significant change is the increase in electrification, which means that the MG UK will have 350 kilowatts of power instead of 121 kilowatts. This will make the cars produce 3 times more energy from this unit, but it will also create a problem that Red Bull have pointed out. The driver will have to downshift on the main straight to recharge the battery faster. With the MG UK being so powerful, the driver will only have 10 seconds of maximum electric boost, which could reduce the racing quality. The chassis of the cars will also change drastically, with both front and rear wings becoming active, meaning that they can adjust their angle and shape according to the speed and conditions of the track. The wheel rim size will decrease from 18 inches to 16 inches, which will affect the handling and grip of the tires. The car weight will reduce by 50 kilograms, making the cars lighter and faster, but also more challenging to control. The cars will also be shorter and narrower, which will reduce the drag and improve the aerodynamics, but also limit the space for the engine and other components. Another change is that the MGU-H will be removed due to the difficulty of fitting it into the 2026 cars. The MGU-H was a device that converted the heat from the exhaust into electrical energy, which could then be stored in the battery or used by the MG UK. The removal of the MGU-H will make the engines more simple and reliable, but also less efficient and powerful. The engines will be more powerful than before because of one key factor: the fuel flow. The current regulations limit the fuel consumption to 100 kilograms per hour, but the new regulations will increase the energy limit to 3,000 mJ per hour. This will translate into more engine power and more noise, which will please the fans. The engines will also have a higher rev limit of 18,000 revolutions per minute instead of 15,000 revolutions per minute, which will make them sound more aggressive and exciting. But not everyone is happy with the 2026 regulations, and some teams have voiced their concerns and criticisms. One of them is Red Bull, the current champions and the dominant force in the sport. Red Bull will face a big challenge in 2026, as they will have their own powertrain division and will end their partnership with Honda. Red Bull's strength was in the aerodynamics of the car, which is the science of how the air flows around the car and affects its performance. Red Bull had a reputation for being innovative and aggressive in their aerodynamic design, which helped them dominate the 2010 to 2013 era, with Vettel winning 4 titles in a row, and also the 2022 era with the ground effect. The ground effect is a phenomenon that occurs when the air under the car is compressed and creates a downward force that increases the grip and stability of the car. Red Bull's bosses, Horner and Marko, have expressed their concerns about the 2026 regulations, especially since the teams were banned from using CFD and wind tunnel for the 2026 season. CFD, computational fluid dynamics, is a method of using computers to simulate and analyze the flow of air around the car. Wind tunnel is a facility that uses a fan to create a stream of air that passes over a scale model of the car, allowing the engineers to measure and improve the aerodynamics. Horner and Marko have said that this means that Red Bull will have no time to improve their engine or their aerodynamics if they are not competitive in 2026. They have also said that the 2026 regulations will favor the teams that have more experience and expertise in developing powerful and efficient engines, such as Mercedes and Ferrari. They have said that Red Bull's fears are justified, even though they have said that they are happy with their progress for 2026. Red Bull is not the only team that will face a challenge in 2026. There are also some new entrants that will join the sport with their own engines, and they have ambitious plans to compete with the established teams. One of them is Audi, the German car manufacturer that has a long history of success in motorsport. Audi will enter F1 with their own engine, and they have already hired 50 top engineers from other F1 teams and 200 more from their own organization. The team's CEO, Jure Diener, has said that they are working hard to hire the best talent for this project. One of the most experienced people that they are interested in is Mattia Binotto, the former Ferrari engineer who is on gardening leave until the start of the 2024 season. Audi hopes to convince Binotto to join them, as he has a lot of expertise in Ferrari's engines, which will be very helpful for Audi. Ferrari's engine had some reliability issues, but it was also one of the fastest, if not the fastest, in 2022 and 2023, which shows Binotto's skills. However, if Red Bull's worries are true, then it will be a problem for the whole grid, not just for the Austrian team. The 2026 engine plans require a significant reduction in drag, which is the force that opposes the motion of the car. The sport wants to lower the drag to improve the racing by adding active aerodynamics. This means that the car's wings can change their shape and angle according to the speed and conditions of the track. Adrian Newey, Red Bull's chief designer, has praised this idea, but his colleague Helmut Marko has said that it is too late to change the rules in the powertrains, which are the systems that transfer the power from the engine to the wheels. He said that every team has already started producing their cars, and that they can only hope that their car will not be a disaster. He also said that, based on past experience, a big change is coming in 2026, unless Mercedes, Ferrari, or McLaren can catch up and win the championship before then. The 2026 regulations will be a game-changer for the sport, and they will create a new era of racing that will be more thrilling and unpredictable.